Hey guys, welcome back to On Gains Mindset, where we help you with fitness, health, nutrition, dating, all that kind of stuff. Today we're gonna go into sort of a review of this Netflix thing called The Social Dilemma, directed by Jeff Orlowski, something like that.
Sorry, we can't pronounce your name. You have a really crazy name. It's great.
Yeah, so basically we're gonna go over why is this documentary sort of important. There's a few reasons. It highlights the effect of social media in our day and age. And
The internet is a cancer to all of us.
I think that the internet is the greatest thing that ever happened to us, and it's also the worst thing that could possibly destroy us, and sort of already is. I think there comes to a point where technology becomes so great that we start to lose ourselves. I mean, I always tell people, like all the time, like, guys, Skynet's going to take over. Like, Terminator is going to become a reality soon. We're all going to die.
Yeah.
As soon as they realize how much of a threat we truly are to machines, they're going to just take over. But that's conspiracy Andrew talking.
Foil hat.
Yeah.
Put the foil hat on.
Basically, like, they go into how kids, especially, are, like, spending way too much time on social media. And they'd be right. Like, I mean, I have a 12-year-old sister, and she spends all of her time on, like, TikTok. And I always tell people that TikTok is Corona. Like, it is just pretty, like, it's dangerous to the mind, right? I think so. I don't know. It's sort of like takes your, I don't know, I think it destroys your brain cells pretty much, and it's just getting bad. Technology will probably take over the world. It already has, and the documentary also goes into, like, you know, the mental health aspects of, like, they showed that, like, a little girl, like, getting a bunch of compliments, like, online, like, like, oh, you're so cute. It's like, and then one person, you know, in the thing, how they portrayed it, one person was like, oh, blah blah, your shoes ain't shit or something like that. And then she was like, and then she just went into, like, a depression. And I was like, that's sort of accurate, except multiply all that by, like, 5 times higher, because I know when I see, like, on Instagram, for example, a girl will get, like, thousands of likes and stuff, and then one person, or even like 10, will be like, "You're wow, why is everyone, like, simping to this girl? She a hoe or something like that." And then she'll be like, you know, she'll just get all, like, you know, whatever, and all depressed and everything. And social media sort of has the ability to make people depressed, and it's also like it has the ability to warp your sense of reality. Like, that's why a lot of people have such strong egos, so to speak, more than they should, is because, like, they're so hyped up on social media, and then they get into the real world, and people are like, what the
Yeah. Who are you?
yeah, what, you ain't shit. Like,
Yeah. Like we grew up. Like so. Okay. Andrew and I, we grew up in the age where the internet and social media and stuff was getting more popularized, and so we already knew, like, how to use it, and we knew what to do with it. And so, like, we were like, I think our generation specifically, like around our age group, are the ones that are probably facing this the most, at least the hardest, because we're already old enough to, you know, be in the real world and deal with these issues. And we need to help the kids that are younger than us, that are growing up with this already established system. It's so fucked because, we've had Facebook came out, and we were like 10 years old or something.
yeah.
And that's when, you know, a few years later is when we started to be able to get on it, when it was open to everybody. And so, you know, it was pretty much once we started all getting onto Facebook, that was pretty much the end of it, because that's when everyone was like, "Oh, likes, become a fan of this." Remember that?
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that? And, you know, all these other things, and that's where, you know, I feel like that's pretty much the spark of where all of our mental health really escalated. Like, some people, you know, had some issues here and there of like certain things, but that was always in the past. That was always just pushed aside and shoved to the side because it wasn't really too much of a big deal at the time. But now, because of social media, it's now become a big deal because of that, people can just become keyboard warriors online and, you know, make fun of people just to make fun of people because they won't have any real consequences to them. You know, people will start having all these issues, anxiety, depression, you know, all these different fucking horrible things that usually people will have normally, but now it's become like multiply that by like 1,000. And that's what people like us and a lot of these kids are also dealing with now.
Yeah. It's very important to warn everyone that social media, Netflix even, and all of these different platforms, they only show you what they want you to see. Very, very important to understand. That's why fake news, I think they said, spread 6 times faster than real news. Everyone wants the hype. Everybody wants the indignation. They want the drama. They want to see fighting. Everyone wants that sort of drama to think about. And social media is going to give it to you. They literally manipulate your brain. Certain things, certain platforms, social medias, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, even Netflix themselves, and all these platforms, they only let you see what they want you to see, and a big part of it is also money.
Yeah, so yeah, especially, and Google does this too. So, Google and YouTube,
They all
they're
do it,
all
and
the
they
same.
and they can, because money controls the game.
Yeah,
You
money
give someone money, they
will do whatever.
Yeah, they allow you to watch what?
Pretty much how it all works is that you type in, let's say, toaster into Google search bar, right? And you look at a couple toasters and like, oh, like look at this picture of a toaster. You're looking at pictures. Let's say you're using it for a project. Next thing you know, you go onto Facebook later, you'll see advertisements on the side for toasters. You go to YouTube. You go into YouTube and you'll see an advertisement on a video before it shows of toasters, of like the special toaster. That Google especially does it. And they're pretty much in partnership with like Facebook and all the other social media platforms, where they pretty much will take all the information that you gather from the internet, and they will try to sell you the specific things that you search. Like, for my example was the toaster. I've even seen it where you can be talking to your friend, like Andrew and I could be talking right now. We could be talking about balloon animals. Next thing I know, I'm gonna go onto Google later, or I'm gonna go onto Facebook, and I'm gonna see advertisements for balloon animals, and I'm gonna be freaked out because that's kind of weird. Because you're talking about these things, you're thinking about these things, and then it pops up, and that's how Google and all these other platforms, they get you to try to buy things that you want, because they will get money out of it as well.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to realize that you probably are being manipulated in some sort of way. Your mind's being altered by, because people spend so much time a day on their phone and social media and stuff. It's going to affect you in some way. You have to understand that no matter what way you think of it, it's undeniable that's going to affect your brain in some sort of way, especially if you use it over the years. It has to. That's humans adapt to things, and for the better or worse. Like in the documentary, they were talking about like girl suicide rates, and they talked about that, how much it affects them and how much they like attempt suicide and everything. But I find it interesting that they don't mention boys' suicide rates, because I think that we're pretty much living in a female correct society right now, and it's not as profitable to mention boys. And once again, I think it's pretty much easy to say that society doesn't care about men. They just don't care.
No, they don't. They don't give a fuck.
It's not. Yeah. So sorry, guys. The only people that are out to help you is us.
Yeah, but I feel like men's suicide rates probably would be the same, if not maybe more, because I feel like men, especially boys, they'll have more action. They'll actually take action to do it.
Well, here's the thing: girls attempt suicide more, but men commit suicide more. They go through with it more. Now, that is something extremely alarming, and that's something that the mainstream will not tell you. They mostly talk about the girls' suicide rates. Now, I'm not saying it's good that girls attempt more. No, we need to work on that. Yes, I agree with that. Absolutely. But they're failing to throw out there the realities that boys commit the act of it more. Yeah. They actually go through with it. Now, that's something way more alarming that we really need to focus on that a little bit too. We need to focus on both, but boys are a little more overlooked these days. There's no denying that. So that's something very important. And the fact that this documentary doesn't really go into that is a prime example of manipulation, a sort of manipulation. so to speak, because they're not even talking about the boys' suicide rates. They're only talking about the
Yeah.
girls. Like that has to register in your guys' brains that something's off there. So even the Social Dilemma document that's talking about all this stuff, they are committing the act right there of manipulation.
No, I
They're
think
doing it right there.
I think that's brilliant. I think that's honestly brilliant because they're manipulating us and showing the manipulation of everything else. And that's why Netflix is no different from Facebook, is no different from
Yeah.
Google, no different from all these other social platforms. It's all the same. And so them not telling us about the men's suicide is pretty much just saying, is pretty much Trump saying yelling fake news, like us yelling fake news about, this.
Yeah,
It's
like
it's
it's
the
still there's a lot, there's a lot of people that need to wake up and realize that you're not being told everything, okay? No matter what you see here on the news or social media or anything, there is always something that you're not being told. People can edit videos on stuff to block things out. You can make a video about someone on YouTube trashing them without spilling the real facts just by editing. Just by taking someone's video, editing certain words and manipulating them, you can make someone out to look like a real bad guy. I mean, they do that with every president now because they can.
They do it with every
They
president.
did it to Obama. They do it to Trump.
Yeah, they do it to everybody.
Yeah. Anybody can take a video, edit some stuff out, put a little bit of stuff in, and you could like alter things. The reality is that it is true that there is a lot more fake information than there is real information. You are being manipulated. You need to wake up to that fact, and you need to do something about it, or at least, try to figure out. Because you cannot assume that everything you see is true, unfortunately. That's why the news, I can't even watch the news anymore on TV. There's no point. It's all, especially during an election year.
It's all
Good luck.
manipulation.
It's not going to happen. But back to social media, which is that basically, like, they track everything that you do.
Yeah, I went into that a
Everything
little
you
bit too.
do, they monitor, for better or worse. Like, they know what you look at. That's why it's so weird when you're talking about something. Someone's listening because you talk about the toaster, and it pops up on your phone like, hey, it's like, uh-oh. Someone is always watching you and monitoring you. Someone is looking at your activity always. And it's up to you what you do about that, but you have to understand that it's very alarming, if not, be careful what you search up these days because it could be used against you. And it's hard to delete social media too, because that you could say, okay, well, I'll just delete everything. Well, it's not that simple anymore. And the reason for that is because companies are starting to use social media and the internet to their advantage, and it's starting to become a part of the companies. Like, we work for companies that use social media as well, and then we need to use the internet for their things.
Yeah, and it sucks. They don't even know what they're doing, honestly. But let's not go there.
But they all use these platforms now. It's almost unavoidable.
Yeah, and we use
it.
we use these platforms specifically for this reason. And if it wasn't for this, we probably wouldn't even have social media in the first place.
We use Instagram
honestly.
to advertise our clothing, which you can check out, by the way. Free plug.
Free plug.
But we use everything to our advantage. And all these companies are using it as well. So I think it's almost unavoidable at this point, because it's gonna come to a point where we're gonna adapt so much into the media and everything that it's almost gonna be impossible to escape from. I mean, these social media platforms also hire psychologists, as pointed out by the documentary, and these psychologists are hired to find out and basically inform these companies how they can make it more addicting. Unfortunately, they are meant to be addicting. There's no other way around it. They do it for a reason. You are meant to be scrolling constantly for a reason.
Yeah, you can totally tell, because I bet you anyone that's watching this video right now is also scrolling through social media right at this moment. Anyone that's watching right now at probably 13 minutes is probably already have been scrolling through Facebook or Twitter or something. They've been looking. And you can put your phone down, but in 2 seconds you're gonna just pick it back up, like if you and you don't even know why you did it. We do that. We've had times where we've done that and we haven't even figured out why we did that. These social medias are fucking killing us inside. It's killing our brains, and it's making us just do repetitive things over and over again.
Yeah, you have to understand that they are, they're watching, they're tracking, they do all this stuff on purpose. They know what they're doing, and they hire these people specifically to get you more addicted to these things, and it's gonna get to the point where it becomes very hard to get away from it. It's everywhere now. Companies, it's all around the world. We're being powered by technology. I mean, you look at society around you, when the power goes out, Everybody loses their minds. They don't know what to
Oh
do.
my god, yeah. Everyone was losing their goddamn mind. The only reason why we were losing our mind over here, we had when we had the hurricane a few months ago.
Yeah, we're in New Jersey, by the way. So.
Yeah, in New Jersey, we had that hurricane, and we had lost power for a couple days. I was losing my mind because I had a whole bunch of videos to upload, and I couldn't upload them without any internet. And then I was out of internet for longer, so I was freaking out on that end. But other than that, I'm not like I wouldn't be freaking out. But a lot of people, if the power goes out, God forbid the power goes out.
Yeah,
God forbid the internet goes out.
Yeah, some people are or might be saying, well, we could just take out all these social media apps. Well, I don't know if that's possible because every time, I mean, they just tried to ban TikTok, right? But what they don't realize is that if TikTok gets banned, they're just going to come out with something new.
Yeah, like Vine, there was Vine. Then there was Musically, and now there's this. Now there's TikTok.
There's always
going
going
to
be something new. They're going to keep coming.
Yeah, it won't stop because they have the ability to create more apps. There's no limit to the amount of apps that can be created that are similar. Like all these apps are all the same. Vine, Musically, and TikTok pretty much are all the same, except that Vine had just shorter videos. Vine had shorter videos. Musically was specifically, I think, for just music, and TikTok was a mixture of both. So now they're gonna find something that's gonna evolve it even farther. Once TikTok really gets banned and no one can actually download it anymore, like Flappy Bird.
Yeah, you have to realize that the more kids are born, they're just going to be born into this generation of technology. We don't exactly know what that's going to lead to yet, but
it doesn't look too good.
It's a safe warning.
It does not look too good. Our future does not look good with the technology the way it is right now.
Yeah, I mean, the documentary ending was pretty optimistic. They're like, we're going to get through this, like we always do. But this is a new battleground that we've never faced before. This could be... I mean, we're already seeing a lot of civil unrest in the world right now, especially in the United States. Everything's pretty much in hell right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other way to say it. Like, there's a lot of things going on out there right now. Riots and there's always manipulation being done on social media. Everybody's always trying to point the opposite side from the left, the right. They're trying to make each other fight, and it's working because people are so in tune and so addicted to these social media apps that people are going to get triggered no matter what. It's unavoidable. So it's up to you guys what you do with these apps and how you handle this information. Are you going to allow the fake news to get to you? Are you going to maybe think outside the box and really question things? Because that's what I think is most important. You need to question everything now. You cannot assume anything. You cannot assume anything is like, as they say it is. And you have to assume and always be on guard. It's just the unfortunate reality. Anything that is said can be manipulated. You need to watch out and see what's going on out there. Like, it's very important to stay aware. You cannot allow yourself to be tricked by these apps and by what they're doing, because they're doing it on purpose and they're out to get you. Not in like a evil, like, ha ha ha, but that's how they make their money, by you being on these things, you looking at ads, and it's all a money flow, and it's all meant to get your brain addicted to these drugs that we call apps. We use them. We're not special at all. We're not victims either. So, okay, we're not no victim mentality here.
No victim mentality.
We understand that we use them as well, but we know that there is some manipulation that is going into it, and we know that using it could have some consequences to it.
Yeah.
But we're trying to figure out day by day.
We fight the addiction every day, pretty much.
Yeah,
we've pretty much been bred on it, so we're trying to fight that right now.
It's funny. Every day I go on Twitter, and I'm just like, what kind of bullshit am I going to see today? Like, I already know Twitter's going to trigger me. Like, there's going to be something stupid I see on Twitter. Who knows if it's real or not? Who even knows anymore, right? Anything can be faked. But basically, that's our review and our thoughts on this Social Dilemma documentary. Guys, this is a warning to all you guys out there. Stay aware of what's going on out there, and don't try not to allow yourself to be fooled, because there's a lot of stuff. The best thing you could do is worry about your own life and try to get your stuff on track and get your mindset right. Get out there, make money, make muscles, learn how to interact with humans and get better. Try to stay in real time if you can. If there's any way that you could stay off the phone a little bit more and maybe get out into the real world and make some real friends, and then do it. Just be aware of what's going on out there, and that, not everybody is your friend. So that's it for this video. If you guys like this stuff, comment below, let us know your thoughts on it, and give the video a like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. See you guys later.
Stay safe, everyone.